That sound you hear is Sony trying to drive a few nails into the GameStop coffin. Of course, GameStop isn't quite in the coffin yet. The new generation of consoles are nothing but rumor at this point. We know that there's going to be another console war because Cthulhu forbid anything in gaming actually works together with anything else. The question is, when will it happen? The current suspicion is that a major announcement from both Sony and Microsoft will occur at E3 this year. After all, they can't let Nintendo have power-equivalent tech to their old consoles for very long. Sony has filed for a new patent. The premise is an RFID chip embedded in the media disc itself that will activate with a piece of hardware, thus rendering used sales a thing of the past. Now, the patent doesn't exclusively specify video games, however, Sony doesn't have sufficient control to enforce this in relation to movies. Now, it's clear that they would want to implement such an authentication method very soon. If you were in control of a significant portion of the game industry, you would too. Whether it will be in time for the next Sony console, though, remains to be seen, as this kind of tech isn't something that can be added later. It's launch ready, or it waits until the next generation. I have several issues with this. Does anyone remember as a child, or hell, as an adult, taking one of your video games over to a friend's house to play with them? Kiss that goodbye. And you know what's funny? Having friends bring video games over was a major sales vehicle, because I got to play just long enough to get hooked. I'm also not sure that the industry has the right to terminate used sales. Over the last few years, the big three media groups, music, games, and movies, have done a stellar job at positioning their product into the realm of license rather than own. You don't own that music CD, you just own the plastic. For those born more recently, what do you think would happen to your music library if iTunes disappeared? The same thing has been happening in video games for a while now. I have a nice fat Steam account filled with products that Valve could take away from me at any time. And on PC, Valve can get away with that because it's an open platform where multiple digital distribution methods are available and hard drive space isn't at a premium. On console, it's a much different problem. Up until this point, the common view is that the next gen of console would simply require an internet connection. I don't think that's accurate anymore, and this RFID thing really has me wondering what Microsoft will do. Console makers don't really care about piracy on consoles compared to PCs because it takes far more work and potential hardware bricking to make it happen. What they do care about is all that money that GameStop isn't paying them for every used sale. But would you like to know who else doesn't get a share of used sales? Ford, IBM, Hasbro, Boeing, Finning, Fender, Eddie Bauer, Bell, Canon, Gillette, Mattel, Nike, Polaris, Duracell, Seagate, Xerox, and Victoria's Secret. Game industry, you are not special. Get off the high horse and look up the first sale doctrine again. Putting the word license in the EULA isn't enough, and somebody's going to take you to task on this soon. It's probably going to be GameStop. That's all I have to say. Tarmack out.